Hi, I'm Liz, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and the stuff they're sharing around the world. On Newsfeed today, the new rules that will hopefully send throwaway culture straight to the bin. The best COVID-19 inspired internet content. From Coachella to St. Paddy's Day, the big cultural cancellations of the coronavirus. And the best gym buddy I ever did see in animals doing stuff. Top of our newsfeed today, binning throwaway culture. Companies make stuff that doesn't last long on purpose. And then when it can't be repaired, you have to chuck it out and buy another one. Well, the European Commission is planning new rules to stop that. It's being described as the most ambitious proposal so far to reduce the environmental impact of the things we wear and toss out. Adama breaks it down.
Phones, washing machines and laptops. They break down all the time. And gone are the days when batteries lasted for days. The inconvenience can be maddening. And electronics like phones can cost a fortune to fix. It's tempting to just buy another one or wait for an upgrade. But consumer culture means our planet is racking up a fat climate bill. The average American generates 70% more solid waste than in 1960. And e-waste is growing almost 7 times faster than other waste. 140 million cell phones, roughly $60 million worth of plastic and toxic material is dumped annually in the US.
An ingenious baby car designed to answer the shopping problem for the American housewife.
A surge in consumerism in the past 100 years led manufacturers to devise a clever sales booster, planned obsolescence, an economic model that relies on the short life of products.
We're asking the European Union for the right to repair our smartphones.
The Right to Repair movement wants to change this. It's a global movement pushing for regulations which will require electronics to last longer and make them easier and cheaper to repair. And in the EU, steps are being taken in the right direction.
Now, Adama there mentioned the Right to Repair group. We spoke with one of the members, Chloe Mikolajczak, to find out more about their campaign.
So personally, in our coalition, we prefer the term throwaway economy rather than throwaway culture, because culture focuses more on individuals, and what we're fighting against is a whole system that promotes consumption and premature obsolescence of products. So for instance, if you look at electronics, manufacturers are able to use some practices such as obsolescence by design, for instance, when they make products break down after a certain amount of time, or they can make repairs so complicated, so expensive, so difficult that consumers end up having no choice to just get a new one. And this comes with a significant environmental impact, including on climate. So for instance, phones, 72% of the climate impacts come from the manufacturing stage, which is massive. So the best thing to do in any case wouldn't be to buy a more efficient phone, for instance. It's just to keep our phones for as long as possible with us. And what we've noticed as well is that keeping our phones for one extra year in Europe would be like removing 1 million cars off the road. So this is absolutely huge. So we need to be able to keep them longer with us. And for this, we need to be able to do so. And this is why we're fighting for the right to repair our electronics, including smartphones. Yeah, so that's always tricky in Brussels because EU policies work in these long policy cycles. And the policy that was released today, which is the Circular Economy Action Plan, it's not binding. It's basically a blueprint. So what we're really pushing for instance, when it comes to phone, is the inclusion on the Eco Design Action Plan, which is a binding legislation. And it usually legislates on energy efficiency, but for the past years, it has been focusing a lot on durability and repairability. And these cycles can take anytime between 2, 3 or 4 years. So their action plan for the next 4 to 5 years. So we really hope that something's going to come out of it before 5 years, but it's quite a long policy process. So it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, so not in the next few months. But what we really want is to make it as fast as possible, because this is an emergency and Europe needs to act like it's an emergency. So I think one of the reasons that we're very happy with this legislation is that we hope that it's going to inspire manufacturers to not do double standards products. So we really hope that they're not going to produce phones, for instance, that are repairable and durable according to EU legislation, and then other set of products that won't be for the rest of the world. So we hope that this legislation will influence them to make one set of products that falls under the EU regulations, so that are durable and repairable. But it's always a possibility, and it's always a concern that they're going to do both. But what we also hope is that these EU regulations will inspire other countries and other regions in the world to take similar measures. And we hope that the EU will use its leadership position to influence these other places in the world to take similar regulations.
Let's have a look now at some other things that caught our eye on social media.
But I am also super excited because I get to be a part of the first group of people to be in the Fenty Beauty house.
TikTok is nipping at the heels of Instagram as the go-to social media platform for beauty. Singer Rihanna is getting ahead of the game with her line for Fenty Beauty. She's created a TikTok house that will be home to a rotating bench of influencers who will blog from it. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is heading back to the jungle for our new film. It's, thank goodness, not another Jumanji sequel. This one's called Jungle Cruise, where he and Emily Blunt set off to find a mythical, magical healing tree to harness its powers. But they have to contend with river rapids, venomous snakes and villains. It's out in July. The threat of the coronavirus pandemic hasn't necessarily brought out the best in a lot of people. From supermarket brawls over toilet paper to attacking people for a little cough. It has inspired, however, some very catchy tunes, some ingenuity and, of course, endless memes. Here are some of Newsfeed's favourites.
It's Corona time. Hey, it's Corona time right now.
Coronavirus, coronavirus, es la nueva enfermedad. There is corona, don't kiss. I am ill, do not kiss. Corona, corona.
Thanks for the lols. Now, while everyone would like to keep calm and carry on or party on, concerts, festivals and movie releases are being shelved or pushed back. Here are some of the big hits so far.
In Texas, the South by Southwest Music Tech and Film Festival has been cancelled, as has the Ultra Music Festival in Miami. France's Tomorrowland Winter has been put on ice. while everyone's favourite Instafest, Coachella, has been moved from April to October. K-pop superstars BTS have cancelled a string of South Korean tour dates. British rapper Stormzy has canned his Asian tour, and 90s rock band Pearl Jam has postponed the first leg of its North American tour. Other big engagements that are affected include the annual Cherry Blossom Festival in Tokyo and St. Patrick's Day parades in Ireland. Some major corporate gatherings have been taken off the table, including the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, Facebook's F8 Developers Conference, Google's Cloud Next Digital Connect, and the TED 2020 Uncharted Conference.
Let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Wednesday.
The coronavirus and climate change are very serious problems. Both require a determined response.
Let's get some perspective, people. The climate crisis, specifically deadly heat waves, fires, floods and rising hunger, are a much bigger threat to the world than coronavirus. The internet has been flooded with people saying so for weeks and pleading with governments to act with the same urgency for the climate. UN Chief Antonio Guterres sounded the alarm again at the UN's Global Climate Assessment of 2019. He says the world is way off track and time is running out fast. Now, this is the stuff of nightmares. Warner Brothers thought it would be a good idea to advertise its horror film It during a Spotify playlist of children's lullabies. Nope. The ad featured the voice of killer clown Pennywise talking and giggling over scary music. The Advertising Standards Authority has reprimanded Warner Brothers and told them not to do it again. And there's really no one in the world quite like Lady Gaga, but there is a newly discovered insect species now named Caicea gaga in her honour. Researchers from Pittsburgh studied a female bug, a bit like a tree hopper, and discovered some unique features like crazy horns and what looks like a wacky kind of fashion sense. Name seems pretty obvious to me. Despite uncertainty about whether Japan's Olympics may or may not happen, organisers are forging ahead with their preparations. Such uncertainty can be a killer for many athletes' focus, but here's the story of one performer who's overcome much more.
I can walk with my hands or walk with my wheelchair. So there are two ways for me to walk. My dance shows that if you can't walk with your legs, there are other ways. I want people to understand by seeing me dance that it is precisely because my body is different that it is interesting. Movements using my upper body are powerful because my feet don't move. People can see that I'm interesting because I'm different.
Last up, it's only Wednesday, but I'm already calling the best doggo of the week. My made-up award goes to this golden lab, who is a very paws-on spotter, coach, weight motivator. Be inspired. If my trainer Oscar could please take note, that's the only way I want to exercise from now on. And that's all from the Newsfeed team. Please reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints, suggestions at Lizzie Maddock. And you'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Subscribe and we'll see you again soon.